Welcome back to the Bookends YouTube channel. I'm James McGowan.
I'm Jessica Faust.
And we are literary agents who have taken our popular blog to YouTube to discuss all things publishing. Today, we are talking about our favorite books that we read in April.
Yes.
So I have got, oh, hold on. I dropped them all. I have got a couple.
Yours look heavy.
No, they're not. They slip and slide, you know?
I don't have as many. I just have two, one audio and one print.
I don't know what happened. I was on a reading boom this month.
My query inbox has been out of control. I am currently sitting on 5 submissions that have offers of representation elsewhere.
Yeah, things are getting busy.
So that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it.
That's fine. Well, then I'll go first because I have, well, frankly, more than you.
So apparently we're going to rub it in.
No, just to alternate and in a way that makes sense. I'm going to do the 2 picture books that I read this month, which I love. Lights on Wonder Rock by David Litchfield and Harlem Grown by, it's Tony Hillary and Jesse Hartland. This book was beautiful. I picked it up on an impulse. I was at Barnes & Noble and I saw it on one of the end caps and I was like, I have been seeing this book everywhere. Let me just grab it. But it's about Tony Hillary, his actual planting of a garden in Harlem and cleaning up like a rundown section of the street that was just filled with trash with the local school. Oh, cool. And the art is so beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this one was a lot of fun. It was nonfiction and there was some great back matter. And then this book was absolutely beautiful. I was shocked that I never heard of it. Just the art alone, like, made me buy the book.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's stunning.
Look at that spread.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that made me buy the book alone. And then it was such a great story that it has become, I think, one of my recent favorites.
Cool.
So picture book lovers, you've got 2 that you should go buy.
Harlem Grown reminds me of The Curious Garden, which, as you might know, is one of my favorite books of all time.
Yeah, you should pick it up. You might like it.
I'll have to look into that. Okay, so I'm going to start with The Transition Baby.
Cover we have seen everywhere.
And I'm super excited about this book because anybody who has followed my MSWL has known for years I've been looking for transgender authors and transgender stories and transgender characters, which can be 3 different things really. And so I was super excited about this. It is the story of, I don't really know what to call it, but I don't really know how to describe it, but it's basically about 3 different women, 2 of whom are transgender and how their lives collide, and there's a baby involved.
Oh, okay.
So, getting amazing reviews. The writing is terrific, and I strongly suggest this book.
I can see your copy is all beat up.
Well, I carry them around in my book bag, my Wonder Woman book bag.
I read 2 novels this month. I read How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House by Sherry.
I want to read that one.
I'll get there. And then I read A Crooked Tree by Una Manian. This one was a lot of fun. It's set in the 80s. It's dark and twisted. It's told from the point of view of a teenager. And her sister is her and her siblings are bickering in the car. And her sister makes one false comment to her mom. And her mom kicks her out on the side of the road. And there's like a really unsettling crime that happens that night. And what follows is just the siblings like reckoning with that crime and really them sort of coming together and their whole family breaking apart. It's beautifully written. It was super fast paced. I read it in a couple days and it was,
is it dark?
I have a hard time like pinning down exactly what it is. All I know is the further I get away from it, the more I kind of loved it.
Yeah, I know those books.
It was dark. Yes, it wasn't like murder and anything like that, gore or anything like that. It was just like haunting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I'll pick up whatever she writes next because her writing style was super fast paced and She really gets you inside the head of all of her characters, even though it's told from one point of view. I don't know, I loved it. I sent it to a client. I was like, I need you to read it. I just need somebody else's opinion.
Nice. I like it.
And then How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House is, I can't explain this one either. This one is a
You're
book
good at
that I'm batting 1,000 this week. This one was a book that I read, and there were times where I didn't quite know what was going on, but all I knew was I was along for the ride. The writing is so good. The story is really interesting. The characters are really well drawn. It's set in Barbados about a woman whose grandmother tells her this fable about
Oh, cool.
a girl who loses her arm because she was basically curious and she got involved with something that she shouldn't have. And then it jumps forward to that same character is now pregnant, having a baby, and her husband is sort of in this life of crime, and just the intersection of this crime that her husband commits, and their life kind of spiraling out of control. But it was so good. Like, I would recommend it. And I want somebody else to read this one too, because I want opinions on this one. I guess I couldn't form my opinions this month. You froze.
You did. You froze on me too.
Okay, well, I didn't freeze on my side, and you were frozen in a way that didn't look terrible, just like you were intently listening.
Perfect.
So we're gonna keep that whole part in.
Continue on.
But yes, this was great too. Those are the two novels I read this month.
Excellent. Well, my other one is, of course, an audiobook. Mine was More Than Enough by Elaine Weltroth. And it's her memoir. And she was, or is, the editorial director, editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue, the first Black woman to get into that position. And it's really her journey, and it's about it's life lessons about, I mean, I learned a lot even about, I would say for anybody looking for a job, it really, what it takes, the work she put into it, the persistence to get where she was or is, and the obstacles she faced along the way. But I like her. You get to, when you listen to these memoirs, I think how much I like them sort of depends how much I come to like the person. And I thought it was great. Definitely a great read, great listen. Oh, and I think this is the one where in the audiobook, she has her parents reading their own parts.
Oh, I love
so
that.
when it's like, my mom said, her mom reads the part, and when it's her dad said, like, her dad reads the part, and it's adorable and hilarious and perfect.
Yeah, that sounds really great.
Yeah,
I love those audiobooks that have a full cast.
Yeah, it was a brilliant, like, I would assume, I don't know, I guess whose idea it was. I would just assume it was hers, but it could have been the audio. But the idea to bring her parents in to do that, I thought was so fun and brilliant. Oh
my God, I can't imagine my parents on an audiobook.
I would pay your parents to do an audiobook.
Well, the last book, well, actually, this was the first book I read.
Oh, yes, that's also on my list.
This is a necessary read for everyone, especially given recent happenings. But Minor Feelings by Cathy Park Hong. It is a series of essays. It is deeply personal. It is incredibly educational and moving and profound. Basically, she talks about, her life, the sort of racism and microaggressions that she's experienced being an Asian American woman, and sort of like how we can start to move past that, how we need to recognize what white people are doing. It's incredibly, first of all, it's incredibly personal. Like, you don't feel like you're reading a book like, like a book like that. Does that make sense? Like, right. You feel like you're reading just a quick paced memoir, but you're coming away from it with so much more than that. Yeah, it's super fast read. It's only like 200 pages, but it's worth it. Everybody should pick it up.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Yeah, I loved it a lot.
That's it. Short today.
Yeah, that was short. I think we're getting better at just rambling about the books that we're reading. Or maybe it's because we had not much to say about anything that we read today.
That's probably true too.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. We'd love to hear what you read in April and what you're reading in May, because we can always use a good recommendation. And we hope to see you back here next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.